Welcome to this presentation on Lean Toolbox approach for effective preparation of housing refurbishment projects using critical success factors. Lean has been particularly aimed at new build and private sector projects. Instead, in this paper, we will try to assess the usefulness of Lean tools and techniques to improve managing social housing refurbishment projects instead. Expectedly, this requires a different approach to project execution preparation and applying Lean, particularly based on the characteristics of refurbishments, including managing refurbishments is more variable and unpredictable compared to most new build projects. Refurbishment does include more highly specialized small elements of work and small labor-intensive operations scattered in existing buildings. This entails higher levels of risk and uncertainty than new build. The lack as build drawings, because we're working in existing real estate, does not guide the designer and builders. Therefore, unpredictability does exist technically, also because of problems are not discovered until the mounting has commenced, before the actual refurbishment could start. The complexity and variability is even enlarged because of presence of residents most often in most of these kind of projects. So what makes a project successful in general? Chu et al. Did list a list of 67 critical success factors of construction project previously. From that, we selected by factor analysis 17 of those factors, particularly for refurbishment projects, distributed among 4 categories of analysis for this research, which included project characteristics, particularly financial, contractual arrangements, project participants, and interactive processes. Then, to influence the factors in this research and interventions, we compose a Lean Toolbox based on theory, previous work, secondary cases, and discussions with respondents in this research, and selected a list of 23 Lean tools for the interventions in these case projects, distributed among 5 categories of intervention, which is design management tools, resident involvement, tooling, budget control tools, and collaboration improvement tools and information communication tools. All Lean tools, all Lean connected tools. Then the action research was undertaken in 6 steps, and per step operationalized as follows. Per case project, success was formulated with respondents in terms of direct and indirect causes of project success or failure. Then the specific success factors were identified from that and the influence on the project, both positively or negatively. Success factors were then put in a causal loop diagram, of which I will show an example later on in the presentation, and insights and base of analysis was created to assess the causality among factors and externalities. Interviews were then done with the respondents to assess the expected results of selection of tools from the toolbox, both done with the respondents, and simulating the tool application and selection in a serious game to shape the intervention. Then the causalities based on the serious game were reassessed, and the effects expected of tool application in the project. Then the Lean tools were implemented in the preparation phase of the factual project as an intervention, and reassessing causal loop relation between tools, effects, and factors in the end during the factual project preparation. There were 7 cases in this research, all housing projects, obviously of 2 types, apartments and terraced houses of different project size, both occupied, most of them, and one non-occupied, and contract types. There were 3: traditional, one-off alliances, and long-term alliances, expectedly influencing the project and the project preparation in particular. So, as a first step, after the effects and causes and success factors were identified, the identified success factors were put in a causal diagram and putting in the relations positively and negatively among the factors. So in this particular example of one case, we can see 3 loops: a budget loop, a project team loop, and a schedule loop of interconnected factors reinforcing themselves or balancing themselves out. So the budget team and the project team loop were balancing and the schedule loop were reinforcing. The reason for that was that the budget team loop was based on the lack of insight from a BIM model applied, and the consequences were that the project team were not able to design a less expensive alternative solution. So the design stayed above a maximum available level and budget, and the exact budget could only be calculated when the design was completely ready. Then the project team, based on the previous problem, did grow some misunderstanding amongst the project team and persistent misinterpretations of the BIM model. This caused continuous doubts and mistrust among the project team members of the firms and strained the idea of the housing association to change the project team. But then the schedule loop did occur because of the design team the project team could not be replaced because of unaffordable financial claims, extra delays, and which was not acceptable for the housing association. So the project team could not be changed and the schedule kept overrunning. So because of the first loops could be balanced, the third final loop could not be balanced and stayed reinforcing itself and created a so-called wicked problem. Then the tools selected for tackling those wicked problems or improving the positive relations among the factors. In the cases, various tools were selected for the application to the project preparation in order to improve it and to influence the causal diagrams of the success factors. Most of the tools connected to residents, collaboration, information and communication. Only in one case design management tools were selected, and in no case budget control tools were selected. Then we related the critical success factors and the lean tools applied after the intervention in different cases, different relation between critical success factors and the manifestation of lean tools in the cases existed, and gave evidence of the effect of the tools applied, but not for all critical success factors, as we can see here, which was expected before the case started or the intervention in the case started, but not showed actually in the case intervention. To conclude, in the cases, all cases, more lean tools show to be available than usually known by respondents and created more consciousness about lean tool application by the respondents. Also, the usefulness of the availability of the lean toolbox devised for this research in the project preparation showed to be useful. For the same reason of consciousness and selection and pre-selection of tools to be applied and potentially useful. Mostly tools we selected for involving residents, collaboration, information exchange and hardware, budget and design. As expectedly, because the budget and design tools were found to be more complex to handle and to apply. Also, more power was granted to tools in theory and in the simulation game instead than to in practice and in the intervention in reality. So we found no hard evidence of respondents being helped by the lean tools as such in all cases, but in all cases we did find that respondents felt to be more in control, also by drafting the causal diagrams of the factors. So there was some connection found between the success factors and the tools applied. In few cases they were pretty apparent, but not in all cases. All problems were able to be solved. Particular operational problems and balancing loops showed to be able to be solved with lean tools, but they not went for the reinforcing causal loops and the so-called wiggle problems that stayed in place and were hard to solve with lean tools. So this was the end of the presentation. Thank you for listening and see you again.